Yo, what's up? What's up? It's your boy Raw, man. We about to go live. Yeah, about to go live.
No, the other one.
Hey, what's up, TTQ? About to go live in 1 second on these other pages. What's up, Doug? Everything going smooth besides the shadow banning, Can't get around that. They keep shadow banning me. But I'm about to go live in a minute. Oh, that's too much like. I just wanted to see if I could go live on YouTube. I got all these restrictions, man. Everybody restricted me from doing this, that, and the other. All right. Man, I feel something is on the way, man. It's too quiet, man. It's too quiet. It's too quiet. It's too quiet. So I seen this person. I'm not gonna post it to my page till tomorrow though, but somebody made some connections with September. I forget the date. 23rd, I think. Yeah, the 23rd is the day after the conference. So give y'all a little wipe off. Wipe off. Wipe off. All right, let's see. Instagram been flagged. See, they on some bullshit. And not letting me go live. That's what I be talking about, man. It's just one thing after another, man. One thing after another. All right, man. Let's see if I could go live on TikTok. Okay. All right. So they barred me from going live on the Raw Report, which I don't know why, because you flagged my page. You flagged my last live saying it was hate speech. Then you reversed it. So why I can't go live? Just constant, man. Constantly just going at me to. They want me to be quiet. They don't want me to tell y'all what's going on, man. They don't want me to show it. But You know, this is why I be telling y'all, man, it's important that you get on the Knowledge College app, because we got to have our own platform, man, because for those of you that's in the know, man, they in control. They control the narrative. That's all they did during COVID, was control the narrative. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we have to do something to uh for us, so that we have a place to share information without it being without that information being uh filtered. You see what I'm saying? So as I sit up here and talk to you, please understand that we on YouTube going live. So if somebody right now at YouTube watching this live with a fine tooth comb hanging on every word that I say, there's somebody at Instagram with a fine tooth comb watching this live, hanging on every word that I say. And you can best believe it's somebody at TikTok watching this live, hanging on to every word I say. TikTok done shadow banned me the most because my video did 60 billion views. And they kicked me out of the content creator program because they owe me like $500 million with a B. And I'm coming to get it. All right, I ain't gonna let that go. Even if I have to file that pro se, I will file it. But anyway, man, I just wanted to touch base, y'all, and let y'all know that I'm trying, for one, on my main pages, and I apologize, TikTok. Well, I don't apologize, TikTok, but my TikTok viewers, please understand that TikTok is shadow banning my page. They won't let nobody see my posts. So if you don't go directly to my page at Rraw Conspiracy Podcast, you won't see a post. But I haven't been posting because what's the use? All right. This again is why you should download the free Knowledge College app and get in our social media so that we can talk to each other without being censored. All right. You got to understand, people. What did Bill Gates tell you? Bill Gates said that they are preparing for the next pandemic. Okay. And since he's talking about preparing for it, understand how old Bill Gates is, and understand that Bill Gates is not talking about something that's going to happen after he's dead and gone. He's talking about something that he's preparing for in his present life, which should tell you what? They expect that another pandemic will come. Now, that's very interesting, because if you go and research the history of pandemics, starting with this last one, COVID, a pandemic happened every 100 years for the past several hundred years, like clockwork. So you got to wonder, if Bill Gates is talking about a pandemic that's going to happen before the next 100 years, you got to start doing a little research. You got to start connecting the dots on your own. All right? You got to start connecting the dots on your own. These, you know, you need to understand something. These people, I don't talk just to talk. Do you talk just to talk? I don't think they make public statements just to hear themselves talk. So you have to take heed to what they're telling you, because they're not telling you something that they don't believe. It's not a joke. It's not a game. All right. And when you have, and when we say the word pandemic, what does that mean? It means people are not going to make it. Okay? People are not gonna make it. That's what a pandemic is. All right. If there was no need to worry about a pandemic, why would we be afraid of it or even discuss it? You know what I'm saying? So you need to understand that when they say those words, that's the ramification of the word pandemic. A lot of people ain't gonna make it, which is why you better get the soul trap session. I don't think y'all realize the situation with the soul trap session. I don't think y'all realize the opportunity that you have to get the soul trap session. All right. Everybody can't get the soul trap session. You realize that, right? People you work with that don't know me, they can't get the soul trap session. Your neighbors, they can't get the soul trap session. These people don't know me. You have a unique opportunity to get information that's going to help you in the afterlife. They can't. And we know reincarnation is real. Reincarnation, for you Western people in the Western world, you need to understand that over here in the Western world, your religions is telling, reincarnation is in the Bible if you didn't know that. All right. Jesus talks about it. Okay. But you people here in the Western world are sort of kind of new to reincarnation. But you got to remember something. In the Eastern part of the world, they know about reincarnation just like apple pie. It's a part of their daily life. You see what I'm saying? They know that animals are reincarnated. That's why they have respect for them, and like places like India, they revere cows and things of this nature because they understand that this more than likely was once a human soul. You see what I'm saying? And so they respect it. They respect the animals like that because they also know it could be them one day. But see, the thing about it, here's the whole thing about it. Even though the whole East Asia and all of the Eastern world knows about reincarnation, the messed up part about it is they don't think that there is a solution. They think that it is they think it's simply a way of life that is supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem. That's the problem. See, the system lords, and I call them system lords, the Anunnaki, whoever you want, the archons, whatever. The system lords don't care if you know about a thing as long as you don't have a solution to that thing. You see what I'm saying? So they don't care if you know. They don't care if you know that Earth is flat or, that there's I call it a forced reincarnation cycle. Although it's really not forced. It's really, I don't want to call it an ignorant reincarnation cycle, but that's what it is, all right? Because they don't force you to reincarnate. There's nobody going to grab you by your soul hand and, force you to go into the light. That's not what they do. What they do is they just trick you into going into the light because they can't take you by force, but they can trick you all day long. And they have a wide leeway on the ways that they can trick you. You see what I'm saying? They don't always have to show you a Jesus, a Buddha, a God, or a prophet or something. They don't always have to show you a parent, a deceased loved one or something like that, a deceased child or whoever. They don't always have to do that. They do it in other ways too. And they show you that they do it in other ways all over the TV screen. Like that one Star Trek episode where the woman is, you know, she's dying and they trying to revive her, and in her head she's quote unquote dreaming, but she's not dreaming. She's seeing what she thinks is her father. It's not her father though. Turned out to be what we would call an archon or alien impersonating her father. And she asks the being, why did you take on the form of my father? And the being is saying, you know, basically so we won't scare you by showing you what we really look like. That's what he said, for real, for real. All right. But he said they chose an image that would be pleasing to the eye for her. And for each and every one of you, the image will be pleasing for you. You see what I'm saying? Ja Baby. He says I'm gonna block him. You don't need to hear this, but if he said if I was the real deal, I would be giving the soul trap session away for free. Tell me, please, somebody put it in the comments. Would somebody please put in the comments what is free in the world? All right. Put something. Name something that's free. Name something. Steer me someplace where I can go and get something for free. All right. Some free food. You can't even go get free food unless you can unless you go to one of these donation centers. You can't get free food. You can't get free mechanical work. United States don't have free medical care. Where can you go get something for free? Let alone knowledge. If you could get stuff for free, who gives away some? All right, let me ask a better question. I've devoted 35 years of my life to researching this. I've spent thousands of dollars on encyclopedias and books because I've been doing this way before you had a Google. You see what I'm saying? So why would I, and not to mention my 35 years, why Ja Baby has probably been somewhere with a name like Ja Baby, somewhere smoking and drinking and, effing his life off, right? Yet he wants somebody to give him something for free. See, that's the mental of the so-called men today, you know. And no disrespect to the women because it's the men's fault, but when you don't have a father in the household, which I'm pretty sure he don't, then you say stupid female stuff like that coming out of a so-called man mouth that wants something for free. Are you a man or a boy? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never walked up to nobody and asked, could I get something that you are selling as a result of your hard-earned work and ask you, can I get it for free? I've never went to a man or a woman and fixed my mouth to say something so ill like that. You see what I'm saying? And this is how you know he never had a father in his life, is because he actually even turned it on me that is something wrong with me. If I'm the real deal, I would give it away for free. So not only did he, insult my character and everything, but you see what I'm saying, man? But this is the world we live in today, where you got, you know, I call them little girls, because you wouldn't survive in the joint, not the joint I was in. You wouldn't survive in the joint with that type of mentality and attitude, all right? Because a nigga like me would take your shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would take your shit. You would have to check in. You see what I'm saying? But I don't want to go there. But I just want to let you know, people who have no principle, people who don't have no morals, I don't care. You don't deserve this knowledge. You see what I'm saying? I got, this single mothers, this people of all walks, of all backgrounds, then got the soul trap session, from celebrities, sports figures, to everyday moms with 3 kids and stuff like that. It's about what's important to you. Every day on my pages, I post the truth. And every day, I show you that what you think you know about the world is not so. But I take it one step further, because it's not just knowing that, this ain't real or that ain't real or this is fake or this is phony. It's about the ramifications of knowing such a thing. You see what I'm saying? Because the whole world can't be fake and phony, and then you continue to believe other stuff that you think is still pure and real, like your religions, your religious beliefs, and all of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? To keep thinking that way is to think like, okay, well, 90% of the world is fake and phony, but I don't think the system lords touched this over here. So either you're very naive or you are fully indoctrinated, because they done touched every aspect of your life. There's not one aspect of your life that has not been touched by the system lords. All right. They want complete, total, utter control of you. And if you haven't learned anything from American slavery of black people, then let me share something with you. Black people are still being controlled by that Christian slave master. Still, to this day. And how are they doing it? Through physical force? No. Mentally. Mentally. Still being controlled. A lot of us still being in control. I was under that control just like you. We live in a Christian nation here in the United States. But an outsider looking in, let's just say an Asian person. Let's say a guy come over here from China, TikTok, and he looks at the situation, the plight of the black man who's going to church every Sunday and everything. Would not the Asian person say, why are you doing that? Do you not know where that came from? Do you not know the extent of how that was given to you, how you were made to accept it? Through force, brutal force. It would not make sense to an Asian or anybody else from the outside looking in. It would not make any sense. And yet, it took me some years. It didn't take long. All right, I went to church every Sunday. My parents started us young. I would say I started going to church around 11, 12, maybe 10. Church was right across the street. Me and my neighbor, we would go every Sunday. We sat together every Sunday for years, till he left and went off to college. And unfortunately, I left and went off to the pokey, as they say. But we went every Sunday. And when I got in the pokey, though, even though my boy, he went to the service and, made a career out of that, retired a colonel and all of that stuff, made a good life for him. Me, on the other hand, the years he did in the service is the years I did in the pokey. But as I look back on it, he still goes to church to this day. He still believes in Christianity and that Jesus is going to save him and all of that stuff. And you know my stance of where I'm at. So I don't look back on my past with regrets. I mean, nobody wants to go there, but, I made the best of it. And I think it's the better choice. I think I have the better outcome, even though in this life you can't see it. I seen a post where somebody said, why do people think it's why do people always think that something positive like God or an angel or something like that, why do you think that they are blessing you with material things? Because that's the only time y'all talk about being blessed is when you get something. Oh, you got a new job, a car, some money, whatever, whatever, whatever. Then you got other people though, they attribute their physical healing to that God bless you. In each case scenario, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I will still look at you and say, how do you think that anybody that's in a position of power, spiritual power or whatever, would bless you over a child that's dying just because it don't have nothing to eat? And you believe because you hit the lottery, you won an award, or you got some money, you signed a contract, bought a new car, whatever it is, you believe that you're being blessed. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you are being blessed, but it's not by who you think it is. See, the system lords will bless you too. Why? Because they don't want you to wake up. And who's the most sleep person of all is the person that's embedded in the system. You ain't ever watched the movie The Matrix? You are those people in the Matrix. You're not Neo or Lawrence Fishburne. You're not on that side. You're on the other side. You are the Matrix. You keep it going. And the system lords keep giving you stuff, materialism, stuff like that, to keep you dumbed down, ignorant, keep these blinders on you so you only see the world like this. Your world. This is all you see is your world. That's who's blessing you. And they have the power to do it. All right? They have the power to do it. For you people that believe in Jesus, Jesus didn't go to you blessed people, and he never went to your church. He was out there with what you would call the bums and the beggars, the people who go against the system. So if Jesus was to come back today, I'm sorry to tell all you people that go to church or whatever it is you do, he will be looking at you kind of crazy. All right. He will be looking at you as crazy as he looked at the clergyman when he walked the face of the earth. He looked at them crazy too. See, you lose stuff over time with history, and that's why research is so important. The most ignorant statement you can hear come out of somebody's mouth is that, what's the point of history? Why do we need to know history? That's the most ignorant thing a person can say. And if you ever hear, because I see it all the time, especially with these young folks, they don't understand why you need to know history, right? Not just any history. You need to know the history of everything. If it's something you believe in, then you need to know the history of it, so you will know that what you think you believe in is actually what it is. Because I'm here to tell you, your religions are not what you believe in. What they're telling you is one thing. That's not what they are. That's like Christians. All right. Let's take the children of Israel. The children of Israel, the children of Israel merged with the Hivites thousands of years ago. The children of Israel in your Bible, they merged with the Hivites. Who did the Hivites worship? The serpent. The Hivites worshiped the serpent. What is Vatican Hall in the shape of? Vatican Hall is in the shape of a what? A serpent. And some of you Christians, this will be the most ignorant statement to say, is some of you Christians will say some stuff like, yeah, but I'm a Baptist, or we don't do that at my church. And once again, you don't know history. All right. Did you know that, when you see all these big fancy churches pop up, the bank will give a preacher, with decent personal credit, he can go get a loan to open up a church, to have a church built. You know that, right? With one stipulation. And ask yourself, why is this? But with one stipulation, the bank, who owns banks? Your children of Israel own the banks. What will the banks tell that preacher? They will tell them that you must preach out of the Bible Christian theology, Christian dogma. The whole Jesus Christ is coming to save you, Son of God, and you cannot deviate from that. Because if you deviate from it, we're going to call that loan in, and we're going to repossess your church. So have you ever seen churches, brand nice new churches with for sale signs on them? I have. I've seen them in the cities, and I've seen them out in rural areas, upstate Pennsylvania, upstate New York. Nice, beautiful buildings, just abandoned. And you're like, well, why did they build it there? You be thinking in your head, well, nobody must not have went to church. No, why would they build it in the first place if they didn't have a parish? Oh, they had a parish, but somebody started reading that book and started telling other people, and the banks get wind of that, they're going to take the church from you. They're going to shut it down. They're going to shut it down. Vatican Hall is in the shape of a serpent. Your religions, your Western religion, Christianity, originates from the Vatican. That is the church, established way before Jesus was here. That church traces its roots back to the children of Israel. All right? That's how far these churches go. That's how far that church, the Vatican, the Pope, and all of that, they go back then. That's where their roots come out of, the Sadducees. All right? During Jesus' time, but really before Jesus' time. They go back to Moses' time. Put it to you like that. Joshua, Moses, that's where they originate out of. That's where your Vatican today originates from. All right? So now, when you understand that the children of Israel, when they merged with the Hivites, and this is all in your Bible, people. If you like, go back and read after Exodus. So your Bible is set up. Genesis is Genesis, the beginning, your creation story. Deuteronomy is the laws given by God to the children of Israel. All right. Exodus is the children of Israel leaving Egypt. All right. And then then that's when wars start picking up and they start conquering and, doing all of that stuff. But when you read the Bible and you're reading this stuff, when I was reading this, the biggest thing, and I done read the Bible 5 times, I'm telling you, when I was in the spot, I ain't had nothing better to do. I read the Bible. I was searching for God. And when I started reading it, it just kept just pounding in my head. Why? Why is this dude sending these kids to war? Why would the creator of all need to use us to fight his battle? Why? That's all I kept saying was, why? Can anybody tell me why? 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 And you can't tell me why. I know we got some Christians watching. Tell me why. I know we got some Muslims watching. Tell me why. Some Jews? Tell me why. Nobody can tell you why. And that is a big red flag. It's a huge red flag. Because if he's the creator, start thinking universally, not just globally. See, when you only think globally as far as a creator is concerned, then you only thinking about your world, your little life here. But when you start thinking universally, that this dude is claiming to be the universal creator of all, that made the universe with trillions and trillions of other galaxies and stars and planets and other beings, and yet you on this world messing with us. Don't that seem kind of beneath a creator? Like, let's just be honest. That's really beneath him or any type of creator. You know what I'm saying? That's like Facebook, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg being jealous or something of the janitor at his building. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's really like it should not be happening is the thing. You see what I'm saying? It should not be happening. So when you see that happening like that, when you see like, you know, why is God doing all this fighting? You know, and then look at some of the things he told the people, the children of Israel to do. He told Joshua, hey, he told Joshua that the promised land is the land of Canaan. Now take that into context and remember that Yahweh had these people wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. For 40 years. In 40 years, you can't tell me that you couldn't build your own city. I mean, you had all the wood you needed. You was in the wilderness, right? So why he didn't just have them build a city? They wanted the land of Canaan. Now, in my Bible, it's got maps in here in the back. And when you start looking at these maps and see where the land of Canaan and stuff was, when you start looking at these maps and seeing where Canaan and it's the Middle East right now. It's the Middle East right now. That's where it was. That's where Canaan was, and it's the Middle East. Yahweh wanting specific land has strategic value. See what I'm saying? Strategic value. So, you don't need to know the answers to all of that. All you need to know is if he is truly who he's saying he is, there's no need for war. He wouldn't be warring. Who would you be fighting? Who is mighty enough to fight against you? That's the whole thing. And yet, as you read the Bible, did Yahweh win every battle? No. So if he's truly the creator of all, who could beat you? Who had a chance to even beat you? Nobody. So how could you ever lose? The only way you could lose is if you're not who you say you are. It's the only way. If I tell you, I'm the creator of all. I created this planet. I created you. Why would I then turn around and say, okay, for all of my Instagram followers, I want you to do a battle with my TikTok followers. And whoever wins that battle, you're going to fight my YouTube followers. And you will be saying, why? And I would say, just like Yahweh, because they're unclean. They unclean, because that's basically what he was saying. They unclean and they worship other gods. So there really was other gods, because that's what he said. He also told you that in the first commandment of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt have no other God before me. So that, and then when you read, which I have, just like you seen in the movie, the 10 Commandments, the Egyptians had their own God. And it wasn't some made up type of God. This is one thing I want to make clear, because I think that's what y'all think. All right. So when you watch the movie, The 10 Commandments, all right, and Moses put the snake down, and then the Egyptians, they put their snakes down, and these other so-called gods had the same type of power as your so-called Yahweh did. All right. That's why he was using humans to go fight them. He's not the creator of all. He's a part of the Elohim. The Elohim. Let us make man in our own image. All right. So you got a plurality of so-called gods making man in their each an individual image, which would explain why you have Asians who have their own culture and beginnings with their dynasties over there with and with the like Chinese dynasty and stuff. Their their first rulers and kings claim to have affinity with the stars coming from other planets and places. The same thing with the Indians, the India Mahabharatas and the Vedas and the Vishnus, them people, same thing. Same thing. Where else is that? Ancient Babylonia. Where else is that? Ancient Africa, the Dogon tribes, and all. It's all over the world. Who don't know or have anything like that? America. But what is America? All right. America is not as old of a nation as China or you know over there in Samaria and Babylon, which those territorial lines have been smeared, but those people still carry that stuff with them. You see what I'm saying? India. We not as America ain't those countries are thousands of years old, people. Thousands, and trace their stuff back even further. All right. We here in America we like mutts. We like mutts. The black people in this country, not all of them came from slavery. There was black people here already. All right. The Native American is not. This ain't his country. The oldest, uh, the oldest remains found in America are Negroid of black people that date back over 50,000 years ago, way before and the Latinos came. All right, the Latinos, and they know where they come from. They black and Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Latinos are black and Spanish. Y'all African and y'all mixed. They mulattoes. You see what I'm saying? They mulattoes. What's not true? What's not true? I don't know what he's talking about. All right, but anyway, say what's not true. State what you're saying so I can tell you. Because I only speak the truth. I can prove what I say. I speak facts. And all you keep saying is not true, solo drummer. So what is not true so I can split your head with some flat facts? Oh, you talking to somebody else. All right. They talking about Lucy. It's supposed to be the oldest hominid, Lucy. Look, let me explain something to y'all. You live in a dome underwater. All right, by every account. You don't have to believe the biblical account. If you don't want to believe the biblical account, then uh, go to Google and research under the Freedom of Information Act. Um, NASA and the CIA has released documents, all right, that talk about a flat Earth, okay, and a firmament. So you ain't got to believe your biblical accounts if you don't want to. You don't got to believe the Sumerian accounts, but at least believe your own NASA and government entities because they didn't want to give you that information, all right? They've been found that out 40 years ago, all right, 50 years ago, probably even way before that. You got to understand something too, people. People didn't start saying the earth was round until the 1600s, until Copernicus came with a theory. And then they just rolled on that. And then they put a globe. And this is the craziest part of all. They put a globe in every school across the world. In 1600, the globe was introduced into your educational system across the world. What does that mean? Well, the prevailing thought before that happened, everybody across the world knew the earth was flat. Now, how would they know it was flat? Well, how did the Sumerians know that there were, 12 planets, 11 planets? How did the Sumerians know that? How did the Dogon tribe know about, I forget, was it Sirius B and other star constellations? How did the Dogon tribe know this thousands of years ago? All right. So you need to understand that anything that ancient man knew was told to him. And who would it be told to him by? We couldn't go to outer, we didn't have telescopes back then you know what I'm saying? We didn't know it was 12 planets in our galaxy. So where would they learn something like that from? And pass it down? Aliens. You see what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, in the 1600s, a theory, a theory, a theory goes viral worldwide and says, oh, we live on a spinning ball. A theory goes viral at a time when there's no social media, nothing. How did the globe get into China schools, African schools? How did this theory somehow get worldwide? And that's all they could ever say it was a theory because nobody could prove it. And so we went from one extreme where the whole world knew the earth was flat to a new extreme based off a theory that the earth is round. But see, it's easily to disprove it. It's easily to prove the world is not round. It's very easy. All right. Because the motto is, according to NASA and the rest of your science, is that this is Earth, it's round, and it's spinning 1,000 miles per hour. And it's also spinning around the sun. And our whole galaxy is spinning in outer space. And yet, the star constellations like the Little Dipper and the Big Dipper ain't changed in thousands of years. They ain't even off center. It's all there. The same map you could use to map the stars thousands of years ago, which we know from ancient Sumeria hieroglyphs, that's on the walls. It's the same thing we can use today to map out our star system. So if the stars ain't moved, how could we ever be all this spinning and rotating going on? Yet the stars ain't never moved. You see what I'm saying? So how could that ever be? It can't. It can't. So the thing about it is, you either gonna believe what they say or you're gonna believe your common sense. And what I don't understand is why do you think that they will not lie to you? Like you think there's some rule that science must tell you the truth. You think there's some rule that history must tell you the truth. The only thing that tells you the truth is mathematics. That's all. And that's something they can't mess with. I mean, they even tried. Even Terrence Howard told you they tried. 1 plus 1. I mean, 1 times 1 is not 1. 1 times 1 is 2. You see what I'm saying? They've even told it's you have to be able to think independently. You cannot allow people to do your thinking. You learn the system from them. Learn the system of what thinking is, and they don't even like to tell you that. I didn't learn how to think in high school. I learned how to think in college. Thankfully, I had a teacher, that cared enough to show us inmates how to think. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't teach you how to think in school. They don't want you to think. They want you to follow orders. All right? Be a good soldier. Follow orders. That's what they want. They don't want people to think. They just want you to follow the orders, follow the rules, follow the directions. That's why people like me are shadow banned. I think too much. You know what I'm saying? So I try to impart that onto you and pass that knowledge on to you so that you can see, not only, what to think, but how to think. You see what I'm saying? It's important. That's what the soul trap session is. I'm teaching you how to think. The reason people say they wake up, when they get the soul trap session, other stuff start happening to them, is because they've learned how to think. You see what I'm saying? And that's so important in a world where right now you in the last days and they putting things all in your face and only a small number of you are recognizing what's going on. I keep telling y'all, man, for you people who believe in that there's going to be an apocalypse and all that, what you think? You think they're going to fly a plane with a banner on it with a warning sign saying apocalypse coming, apocalypse? Or what did Jesus tell you? Even Jesus told you he going to come back like what? A thief in the night, meaning you're not going to know when he come back. It's just going to happen. All right. But I'm telling you, the signs are there that it's very, very near. And you could just look at what's happening globally. All right. China and Russia are not playing. North Korea, they're not playing. They're not playing. And those countries got they got their people prepared. Meanwhile, here in the United States, your borders are being flooded. Have been being flooded for years by military-aged immigrants. When you see those immigrants on TV, you don't be seeing no old people. You don't be seeing no old people. When I was in the spot, I wrote a movie script for what would happen if the United States enemies decided one day to say, we're going to put our differences aside because the enemy of my enemy, however what is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or whatever it is, how that saying goes, you know what I'm talking about. But what if they all just banded together? You know what I'm saying? Ain't that like really common sense? United States have done so much dirt to people. And most of y'all don't even know, because the dirt that they do, it's not an official war, people. United States does so much dirt behind the scenes. So does Israel. Y'all have no idea how much dirt Israel does. Because Israel got, the Western world backing them up. And they do a lot of dirt. Look, You think the atrocities that's going on in Palestine, you think that's just like a one-time thing? No. Them are flashes of them showing you who and how they are. They don't care. You've seen the videos on social media where the Jews are telling you Christians that their Torah, their God, Yahweh, which is the same one you pray to, I don't know why you pray to him, but their God, their Yahweh tells them to unalive you. And 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 this is who y'all sit up in church and pray to every day, every Sunday. Make it make sense. Some of y'all under them look, and then here go the mix up for black people. Black people be talking about we the original Jews. That might be so. But Yahweh wasn't your God, original Jew. Right? Yahweh was not your God. It clearly defines whose God Yahweh is. And that is the Jews of today. The Jews that was enslaved by the Egyptians. Because the black Jews, you was never enslaved by the Egyptians. The real black Jews. You was never enslaved by the your history goes back further than that. All right. You was never enslaved. That's not you. That story in that Torah is not yours. All right. It's not yours. Then they want to say, oh, the black Ethiopians are the real Jews. No. 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 Yahweh made a covenant. All right. That's a promise, a contract. The Ethiopians don't have nothing of that. They don't have nothing. But the Jews over in Israel, they do. They do. They got all their ancient texts. They got all their stuff to prove that this story in the Bible, this Yahweh, is theirs. That's their God. The Ethiopians don't have that. Ethiopia ain't running nothing. They don't have nothing. They got a Bible with some extra books in it. That's all they got. Some say the what's it called? The Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia. No, it ain't. No, it's not. The Ark of a Covenant is a weapon. The Ark of a Covenant is a weapon. Some type of nuclear weapon, because all accounts that talk about it is people who that's the reason why it's kept in gold. The Ark of the Covenant is not the gold container. That's not the Ark of the Covenant. What's inside the gold container is the Ark of the Covenant. It's a weapon. And by all accounts, it's a nuclear weapon, because in the ancient text, people who seen it or touched it all died. All died from sickness, not just like, died. They all died from sickness. Type of radiation fallout. The Egyptians don't have that. I mean, the Ethiopians don't have that. If they did, they would use it. They would use it. All right. Israel, they got that. You got to ask yourself a question. Israel is just a little small country. Why does the United States and the Western world kiss they behind? It's not because of the banking. They make you think that. It's not the bank. Anybody could take over those banking cartels. Anybody. All right. I mean, United States is a whole government. You don't think if they wanted to take over Israel banking system, they could easily do it by force? Yeah, they could do it by force. All right. You got to ask yourself, why does Israel, why do the Jews run the world, basically? They got some type of power. Why is other countries, kissing their behind? This little small country. Why are we not kissing China behind? China got 2 million boots on the ground. Nuclear weapons, electronics, all that. They own America, basically. Everything you got in your house is made by China. So why are we not kissing China behind? Because Israel got Yahweh. All right. It's got something to do with all of that. And this goes back, to the Anunnaki and all of that stuff, man. But I said all of that just to let y'all know, man, that the world is just not what you think. And when you begin to really and truly understand that, you start questioning what you believe. And the knowledge I'm trying to give you is, look, I don't care if you don't believe me, but if I'm making sense to you, then I urge you to get the soul. I urge you to get the soul trap session before it's gone. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be here for too much longer. I'm telling you this. And when it's gone, and when shit in the world starts happening, and then it start making sense when the pieces, because I'm warning, I see the signs, but when you start seeing the signs, well, let me put it to you like this: when the majority starts seeing the signs, because I don't think I think I'm gonna tell you something. What they telling you in the Bible about an apocalypse and all that stuff is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Not because it got anything to do with religion or nothing. It's going to happen. It's got everything to do with two things. People like me who done woke up and trying to wake up some of y'all. And also, y'all don't think, right? How many species of humanity has there been? You know about what? Homo sapiens, Homo erectus. I don't know them all, but Neanderthals, Cro-Magnon. It wasn't evolution. Don't think that was evolution. It wasn't. Because the Anunnaki don't have no parts in evolution. The Anunnaki creates hominoid species. And if you know anything, as you watched each hominoid species, let's just say I know Cro-Magnon was before Neanderthal. Neanderthal came after Cro-Magnon, and they about to end, and I'm about to end too, but a new species is coming. That's why they put that thing in all of y'all. A new species is coming. Get the soul trap session. You better. I'm telling you. Peace.